It's a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome you to another video entitled "The Entrance is Still the Same." And the message: the Apostle John tells us that God cast out the Jews so that the Gentiles can access salvation freely. But the Gentiles must not boast. However, symbolism in the book of Revelation reassures that God remembers his people Israel, having the name of each of the 12 tribes written on each of the 12 gates of the New Jerusalem city. And here we have a representation of the city, and this is one of the gates, and there's a name on it, Judah. So around the city we have 12 of them representing the 12 tribes of Israel. And we are told on each of the cardinal points, north, south, east, and west, there are 3 gates. Now, who is Israel? God's chosen from Abraham. In Genesis 12, 1-3, God called Abraham, a Syrian, to leave his people and move to the land of Canaan, which God promised as a possession to him and his descendants as part of a special covenant or contract wherein he will bless them. Abraham's wife Sarah was also a Syrian. We see that in verse 5. Abraham's son Isaac, heir to the covenant, married Rebekah, who was also a Syrian. We see this in chapter 24. Isaac's son Jacob, heir to the covenant, married Rachel and Leah, also Syrians. And we see this in chapters 28:5 and chapter 29. Now Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and he had 12 sons who are called children of Israel. Syrians from Seth's generation. Seth's generation, Noah's second son, lived in the middle of the earth. That would be around the Asian and Middle East regions. And they were mixed color, and it was the most religious region, according to Lumpkin in the Encyclopedia of Law Scriptures. We have the 3 mountains of God were present there, and the Garden of Eden was also in that region. Abraham's descendants comprised of a mixed company of multitude by birth and marriage from Syria, Canaan, and journeying south during crisis among Ham's generation. Ham was Noah's 3rd son. Ham's generation is dark-skinned and settled on the African continent. Now, Jephthah's generation, which is light-skinned, the Europeans, were not featured with Israel. They were called Gentiles. And we have a critical observation here. The children of Israel were featured with evidence of a physical presence with the world's empire discussed in my last video entitled King of Kings. However, in discussing the map on religion by Maxwell 1981, where we showed where the Catholics were separating from the rest of the Christians, there is no physical presence of the children of Israel. The whole region was dominated by Islam, as seen on the map. So, this region here where we should find the children of Israel. However, the whole region, right, go all across to North Africa here, is dominated by the Muslims. We have the Catholics up here and the other Christians all here and so on. But there is no physical presence of Israel as was with the other ruling world empires. Now, what has become of Israel among the other religions on the map? The question alludes to the possible issue of jealousy and hatred associated with the Abrahamic covenant among Ishmael, Abraham's first son, who was not chosen according to tradition, Esau, who sold his birthright to Jacob, his brother, his younger brother, and that was prophecy, and Abraham's other children after the birth of Isaac. Now, even though Ishmael, that's Hagar's son, Esau, and Keturah's children were not part of the covenant, they received blessings. So there was no need for jealousy and hatred. What blessings did they get? Now, Ishmael, God blessed with 12 princes. So he was blessed with power and wealth. But he was sent away from Isaac, who was the covenant here. And we read about this in Genesis chapter 16 and 21. Esau's dwelling place was blessed with the fatness of the earth. So he had a lot of agricultural riches. And he was blessed, a great fighter, lived by the sword. But he will serve Jacob until he broke the yoke off his neck. And I intend to do my next presentation on that Esau's situation. And we read about this in Genesis 25, 9 to 34, and chapter 27. Keturah's children, this was the children after the death of Rebekah. When Abraham married again, Abraham gave each of them gifts, and he sent them away again from Isaac, who was the covenant here. And we read about this in Genesis 25, 1 to 5. So what does jealousy among the brothers indicate? A lack of understanding of God's way. In Isaiah 55, God says, "My ways are not your ways, neither my thoughts your thoughts." Now, favor with God is a calling and a transformation of heart, not a fight for supremacy. So, jealousy and fighting to annihilate show automatic disqualification for the covenant. It's just a total lack of understanding. My ways are not your ways. God's ways are ways of peace. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the true children of Israel, having lost their identity, their rightful position, and physical assets, having become a repressed people on earth. However, the book of Revelation echoes hope to the dry bones that wherever ancient Israel is on the globe, God remembers them. He has written their names on the entrance and exit gates of the New Jerusalem city. And the names: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and he had two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, and Benjamin. And the call: God has disciplined Israel for trying to interfere with his plan of salvation. But now that the salvation cup with the Gentiles is filling up, look again to the floodgates, O Israel. Reclaim your own salvation in Jesus' name. For Jesus will sit as king on the throne in the New Jerusalem, ruling the nations. This is the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope to return shortly with another one. Thank you for sharing.